head coach, named interim head coach back in, early fall, late summer, I guess. It must have been back in late August, what have you. And no longer the interim head coach. So congratulations to Coach Sagraves. He's been great to work with, and looking forward to continuing to work with him. And he's doing a great job building up this Calvin men's volleyball team. Last weekend, the Knights were in Wisconsin. Originally, we're going to play 4 matches, but 2 of them were wiped out by weather. They did get 2 in, and they won them both. They defeated Concordia of Wisconsin in 4 and Lakeland of Wisconsin in 4. This Aquinas team, 1-2, started out the year 0-2, and then on Monday night defeated the University of Olivet in a come-from-behind 5-set thriller. So the Saints 1-2. And we are going to stand right now for the playing of our national anthem.
Good evening and welcome to Vanrood Arena for tonight's match between the Saints from Aquinas College and your Calvin University Knights. Let's take a moment to meet the Saints. Number 3, Ryan Lidke. 9, Garrett Anderson. 10, Jonathan Collins. 11, Brock Hoffman. 12, Andrew Slowinski. 17, Dominic Nelson. 19, Everett Blyenberg. 21, Langston Court. 24, Andrew Jones. 26, Brandon Hubbard. 30, Tristan DePuter. Starting tonight for the Saints is a senior from Caledonia, libero number 2, Gage Dingas. A junior from Tomball, Texas, number 4, Connor Stats. Out of Gilbert, Arizona, freshman number 5, Joseph Hodgson. A junior from Edmond, Oklahoma, number 7, Jaden Sertivant. A freshman from Mason, Arizona, number 18, Demetrius Baxter. Senior from St. Louis, Missouri, number 23, Alexander Rodriguez. Number 27, a sophomore from Pearland, Texas, Braylon Amos. And libero number 31, he's a senior from Milani, Hawaii, Colin Illigen. Assistant coaches are Greg King and Joshua Evers. The head coach is Michael Crane. And now let's meet the Knights. Number 1, Ronald Young. Number 3, Gavin Barber. 4, Owen Wise. Number 6, Evan Backert. 7, Landon Dykema. Number 10, Jacob Kissinger. 11, Carter Nichols. 14, Trevor Monk. 16, Bryce Brookhuizen. 18, Wyatt Birch. And number 20, Cam Dogger. Starting tonight for the Knights, a freshman from Lowell, libero number 5, Brantley Teedy. A graduate student from Grand Rapids, number 9, Gabe Laughlin. A sophomore from Oconomowoc, Wisconsin, number 13, Ezekiel Jalen. A junior from Aurora, Illinois, number 15, Justice Marble. A sophomore from Naperville, Illinois, number 17, Brady Godauskas. From Medellin, Colombia, junior, number 19, Daniel Rua. And a junior from Byron Center, number 21, Nick Bolchi. Director of Operations for the Knights, Emily Farwell. Assistant coaches are Mackenzie Vacas, Charlie Kraut, and Vanessa Martinez. The head coach, Aaron Sagraves.
All right, you heard the starting lineups from our public address announcer, Mr. Dan Spoolma. And ready to go. This is the third matchup between these two sides at the varsity level. They played twice in 2024. Aquinas won a come-from-behind match in 5 over at AQ, the Sturris Fitness Center. And then the return match a few weeks later, Calvin won it right here at Vinord Arena in 4. Last year, they played in an exhibition match, but not one that officially counted in the final record. So, back to playing a regular season contest, and this is a fun one because these two institutions are separated by about 3 miles or so, maybe a little more than that. 3 to 4 miles in distance. Frequently you have the distance runners from each side kind of buzz the tower, the opposite institution. You see the cross-country kids out there jogging out at Aquinas, or vice versa. You see Aquinas runners frequently jogging through the Calvin campus, and easy to do when you're getting your mileage in when these two institutions are so close. So nice that they can get together here for a non-conference match here at Vinord Arena. Aquinas in the gray uniforms, maroon numerals outlined in white, and Calvin in the white jerseys with a tinge of gold. They've got the maroon and gold numerals. The Knights are on the, well, they're off to our right, and Aquinas on the left. So if you're watching on your computer screen or you have it up on your video board or TV at home, Calvin going from right to left here in the first set, and Aquinas going from left to right. Ready to go. Ezekiel Jalen will serve it for Calvin. Sophomore setter out of Oconomowoc, Wisconsin. Sends it over, and Aquinas just has to free ball it over. That was Connor Stotts. There's Gadauskas, a big attack, and down for a kill. Knights up 1-0. Brady out of Naperville, Illinois. A frequent part of the Calvin attack last year. Served by Jalen, handled by Aquinas, and off the Calvin block and down.
Side out kill by number 5, Hodgson.
That will go to Joseph
Amos serving.
Hodgson, or Hodgson, out of Gilbert, Arizona. So 1-1. Got Braylon Amos out of Pearland, Texas, serving there. Daniel Rua got a piece of it, and then a miscommunication up at the net. Attack error gives the point to the Saints. They're up 2-1. Daniel Rua back there. He is a transfer from Siena Heights University, a high flyer out of Medellin, Colombia. We saw him play the Knights as a member of Siena Heights. And a quick middle to Nick Bolche, and he slams it down. Nice feed from Jalen, tied at 2. Gadauskas will serve. These are brand new uniforms. Came in this summer for Calvin. These white jerseys with the gold lower bottoms. That serve going to go a little deep by Gadauskas. So service error makes it 3-2 in favor of Aquinas.
Number 7, Sturdivant.
Jaden Sturdivant out of Edmond, Oklahoma. Sends it across. Swing by Laughlin, and what do we have? Somebody in the net, I believe. So
whistled in the net.
That'll be on Hodgson. So we're tied at 3. Goes as a kill in the books for Calvin. Bolche to serve, young man out of South Christian High School. Attack by Connor Stotts. Knights handle it. Now Laughlin with the attack, and Stotts sends it back from where it came. It'll be a block and a point for the Saints. They're up 4-3. So Hodgson's back to serve. And there is Rua going up over the block, kept alive by the Saints in the back. Stats, dug up by Kelvin. Back row attack and a kill down by Gadaskis, tied at 4. So Gabe Laughlin, the graduate student at a West Michigan Aviation Academy. And he is a home run hitter, if you will, when he serves. He will throw it up high like you saw right there and go for broke and just miss the back line. It'll be a service error. 5-4 Aquinas in the lead. Demetrius Baxter out of Mesa, Arizona will serve for the Saints. Knights on the attack, and that is the high-flying Daniel Rua. 5-5, and he'll go back to serve. Rolls it over, dug up by Aquinas. Back row attack, and that will be down. A kill for Jaden Sturdivant. Saints back on top, 6-5. Gavin Barber, sophomore to Lowell, one of the local high school powers, checks in for Calvin. Saw Lowell play in a state final here a couple Junes ago. Big serve, and that one's going to go out of bounds. That was Connor Stotts, a junior out of Tumble, Texas. Tied at 6. Seeing a fair amount of service errors early in this match. Justice Barble, a junior, newcomer to the team out of Aurora, Illinois. And just missed that back line. Just missed. Be an error. And a point back to the Saints. 7-6. Does make for easy scorekeeping if you're doing the stats. When you have service errors, not much of a rally to input. And what do we have here? Another service error, that time by Alexander Rodriguez. Tied at 7. So back around the rotation, Ezekiel Jalen to serve again for the Knights. Floats it over. Dug up by Stats. Might have been guilty of a ball handling error. Doesn't matter as the attack by Amos goes deep. Knights in the lead for the first time, 8-7. Jalen again, floats it over. Stats right up at the net, and getting a touch is Bolchi, and that'll be, we're going to call 4 touches, I believe, on Aquinas. Coach Michael Crane here right to my left of Aquinas did not agree with that call. 9-7, Calvin in the lead. Jalen goes deep, Stats is there. Going to be a tight set, and Aquinas does get it over. Nice dig, Bolchi in the quick middle, and it's down 10-7. Calvin in the lead. Knights on a bit of a run now. 4 straight points. Jalen serving again. Ooh, that had some wicked movement to it. Good back row dig by the Knights. Bolchi down the middle. Dug up by the Saints. Going deep and out of play. Great dig by Barber in the back to keep that rally alive. And then the Knights on the attack come up with a point. 11-7 Knights. Jalen again. Quite a service run going. There's the big attack by Aquinas, dug up again in the back by Barber. It's Gadaskis off the block. Saints scrambling. Dingus is there. And then down the middle, finding the floor, number 7, Sturdivant. So the Saints finally break that service run. 11-8, Calvin in the lead. Amos back to serve. Southpaw sends it just over the back line. Service error, 12-8. Kelvin up 4. Back in is Rua. Gadaskis to serve it. Rolls it over there with a top spin. Onto attack by Baxter. Knights dig it up, and I'm not sure. I think it was Rua who will get that attack and kill. 13-8 Kelvin. Bolchi was up there looking like he was going to swing, but I believe it was Rua who got the point. Gadaskis serving off the top of the tape, rolls down. Sturdivant is there. And a mistimed set, and the attack error by Hodgson gives a point to Kelvin. 14-8 Knights, and Aquinas wants a timeout here at Vennord Arena. Well, shout out to the Kelvin women's volleyball team doing courtside duty with the ball retrievals and making sure balls are in play and just helping out in general. I see members of the Kelvin women's volleyball team also here on the table. And of course, the men's volleyball team reciprocates in the fall, helping out. So that's it's a nice setup where they support and help each other out in their respective seasons and root each other on in the process. Looking ahead to the weekend. It's supposed to be a very cold Friday here in Grand Rapids tomorrow. It's supposed to be cold kind of moving into Saturday, and then supposed to kind of settle into the 20s into next week. It would seem a little bit like a heat wave. But tomorrow, speaking of Aquinas, Kelvin men's, women's track and field teams are at the Grand Rapids Hall of Fame Classic hosted by Aquinas. Action begins at 5 p.m. at the Sturris Fitness Center there at Aquinas. Kelvin hockey teams are in action. I got to look up their schedules. I don't know them off the top of my head. Kelvin ACHA D1 team won against Davenport in a shootout yesterday, 5-4. Goes in the books as a win. 2 points in the conference standings. Men's basketball at Albion, 3 o'clock. Women's basketball right here Saturday at 1. Gadaskis service error out of bounds, so 14-9. Men's volleyball back here tomorrow night, 7:30, hosting Concordia of Chicago. Swimming and diving in action Friday, Saturday. Get to that in a bit. Back to the action. Rua's gonna, or Jalen to Rua, beg your pardon. Saints struggling a little bit, and they're not gonna get it up and over. So I think Rua actually gets a kill off of that one. 15-9. Nick Bolchi back to serve it. Over the tape, but just wide down the sideline. Service error, 15-10. Got Brantley Teedy is the libero for Kelvin. Jalen to Rua. And I think somebody was in the net. I think it might be number 23, Alexander Rodriguez of Aquinas might have been the guilty party. Not sure. They did not indicate the number, but no discussion by Aquinas. Didn't dispute it. Now Laughlin, he'll roll it over the top. And a mistimed set by the Saints by Demetrius Baxter, who was trying to find his teammate Rodriguez. Setting error, and Kelvin now up 17-10. Here in set number 1 at Vennord Arena. Laughlin back to serve. Goes for the big home run hit, and again, just missed that back line. So he's got a little bit of a the changeup where he can take some off and drop it in, and then, you know, the big fastball swing, if you will, like he had right there. 17-11. Rua with a dig, and the overpass allows Amos to cram it home with 2 hands. Point for the Saints. 17-12. credit the serve by Baxter to set that play up. Let's see where he goes now. Ooh, floating left-hander. Knight struggling a little bit. Laughlin out of the back. Dug up by Sturdivant. Sturdivant comes down the middle, and it's dug up by Laughlin. Free ball. Saints with the chance to attack again. Knight's getting a touch on it up the middle there. That was Justin Barble, and now it falls to the floor. I think that was Rua again. 18-12 Knights. Rua will serve. Down the middle. And Aquinas just has to free ball it across. There's Jalen looking to Gadaskis off the block and down. I think actually it hit the antenna off the block. So that killed the play right then and there before it even fell to the floor. 19-12 Knights. Rua again. Free ball up at the front there, and I think we've got interference at the net by Kelvin, not allowing Aquinas to touch the ball. I don't think it ever went over the plane, so be a net error or a blocking error on Kelvin. 19-13. Kelvin up by 6. Owen Weiss gets an ace just in that far corner. 19-14. Owen Weiss again out of Lombard, Illinois. Timothy Christian graduate. That's actually Connor Stats. I'm looking at the wrong roster. Sorry about that. And it'll be a point for Aquinas. That was Stats on the serve. And I think that'll actually go as a service ace. Kelvin never able to fully corral that one. So on a little bit of a service run, Connor Stats. 19-15. Big jump serve into the net. Service error. Point Kelvin, 20-15. So Justice Barble, the West Aurora High School. Decorated junior college or community college career, if I recall Coach Segraves telling me. Meanwhile, Aquinas goes down the sideline and picks up the point. It was Rodriguez and Sturdivant involved in that one, 20-16. Dominic Nelson in. Haven't seen him back to serve yet. Out of Albuquerque, New Mexico. Floats it over. Dug up by Titi. Now free ball up at the net, and Bolchi knocks it down and gets the point. 21-16. Rodriguez coming back on for Aquinas. Served across by Jalen. Knights dig it up in the back, going up high. Gadaskis over the block and then sent over by Aquinas' Baxter. Now here's Laughlin down the middle and gets Stats out of position. Finds the floor. Point Kelvin, 22-16 Knights. Jalen, top of the tape, point for the Saints, but Aquinas starting to run out of room here in set one, 22-17. Amos the serve. It was dug up by Titi, and then a big swing and a point for Gabrielle Laughlin, the Pittsburgh Steeler fan. He's pretty excited about his man Mike McCarthy taking over the Steelers. I was talking to him the other day, old Gabe. Steeler fans are about as loyal as they come. Gadaskis to serve. Quick middle for Aquinas. That was Hodgson, and the Knights will get the point. Laughlin again, 24-17, and it's set point. Gudauskas to serve. Big jump serve, and I think we have a rotation here in Aquinas, so that'll go as a service ace for the Knights to close out set number 1. 25-17. Looking at leaders here, Aquinas, Sturdivant's got 3 kills. For Kelvin, Rua and Bolchi, 4 kills apiece. Laughlin and Gudauskas, 3 kills apiece. Rua hitting at a 667 clip, Gudauskas at 600. Team hitting percentages. Aquinas hitting 0-0-0. Kelvin hitting at 400 through set number 1. 7 service errors for Kelvin, going at it aggressively. 4 service errors for Aquinas. Let's see, I was going through some of the other sporting action here. Swimming and diving, I meant to bring that one up. The Knights are in dual meet action in the Pittsburgh area this weekend. They go to Grove City tomorrow night for a dual meet just north of Pittsburgh, and then they go into the city on Saturday for a dual meet against Carnegie Mellon. It'll be nationally ranked teams going head to head there, both men's and women's from both sides. So
we need a bumper, yeah.
See if I can't come up with the hockey schedule here for you. ACHA D1 hockey is out in the Hudsonville area. They travel to Grand Valley State. They play at the Georgetown Ice Rink there in Bauer, Michigan. It's a little northern burb of Hudsonville. That's a 7:30 p.m. contest tomorrow. I think D3 hockey is off this weekend. In fact, I know they are. They are ranked number 3 in the country. The D1 side is ranked number 10. Just going through winter sports here. Women's track and field just got ranked number 8 in the first D3 Track National Rating Index poll that came out 2 days ago. So you got women's track at number 8, D1 ACHA hockey at number 10, D3 ACHA hockey at number 3, men's swimming at number 10. I believe women's swimming is number 18. Men's basketball is number 18 right now. And I think that kind of rounds it out here in winter sports, but pretty good collection of national recognition amongst Calvin Winter Sports offerings. Aquinas to serve here to start set 1. Bolchi on the slide play. Nice feed from Jalen. Crams at home, 1-0 Knights. Jalen to serve. At Arrowhead High School in the Wisconsin area. Saints dig it up. Rodriguez. Well, the Saints do get it over. That wasn't Rodriguez. That was Brock Hoffman, actually. Free ball sent over by Aquinas. Laughlin with a roll shot. Diving dig by Dingus of Aquinas. The block is there, though, for Kelvin. And they send it back. Gadaskis and Bolche on the combo, and the Knights lead at 2-0. Jalen to serve. Dug up by Dingus. Back row attack, and Bolche is there to block the attack by Sturdivant. 3-0 Knights. The serve by Jalen getting Aquinas off balance, and that's also allowing the front row to set up shop on the block. Dingus pops it up. Here is the attack by Stats, and that's going to go a little deep and long. 4-0 Knights. Jalen again. Goes far side and just a little deep. Service error gives the point to the Saints, 4-1. Connor Stats, the junior, will serve for the Saints. Jump serve, and that's a good one, but Daniel Rua is there. Jalen with a great feed over to Bolche, and Stats with a nice dig in the back to keep it alive. Kelvin resets. Jalen again. Big swing for Gadaskis. Off the tape and down. Kind of changed speed there once it hit the tape. He had a little aw shucks grin on his face. Not the way I drew it up, but it's a point nonetheless. 5-1 Kelvin. Jump serve by Gadaskis down the sideline, just a little wide, 5-2. Decent crowd here tonight on a very snowy and cold Thursday night in late January. Got a nice contingent of Kelvin students that have come out. Big group of Kelvin supporters right behind the home bench area there. And then pockets of people up above. Serving there was Hoffman of Aquinas. Gets it over, now here's Laughlin. Goes far sideline, dug up by the Saints. Free ball, Bolche. Now Jalen, where's he gonna go? To Laughlin, down the sideline and off of Stats. For the attack and kill. Gabe Laughlin. There's his father, Jonathan, a friend of mine, and he's the source of some of that Pittsburgh Steelerdom in the family. And Gabe wears that Steeler flag proudly as well. Oh, Bolche with the serve. Excellent all-around athlete at South Christian High School was Nick. Outstanding goalkeeper in the soccer team. Played some basketball there, as well as playing on the South Christian volleyball team that went to the state finals right here at Vernord Arena. He is a standout student in the classroom. Honorable mention all-conference selection last year. 6-3 Kelvin. Set number 2. Knights took the opener 25-17. Served by the Saints. Handled by the Knights and crammed down the sideline for a kill. That was Justin Barble. 7-3. Well, we've got the director of athletics, Dr. Jim Timmer, here. And pretty smooth sailing so far right now, Jim.
Yeah, it's really good to see. Good to see this team for the first time live. Watched them last weekend, and Coach Segrave's doing a wonderful job so far.
Daniel Rua, and he finds the floor. Boy, a lot of bat speed on that one. Some sharp looking new uniforms for the Knights there too. You don't often see the gold featured, but it looks good on them.
Yeah.
8-3. Saw those things come in the boxes this summer in the hallway. Big serve there by Laughlin. And then sent over by Sturdivant, and the Knights handle it and cram it down. 9-3, and Aquinas wants a timeout.
A nice crowd out first game.
Yeah, well, I was just saying that.
Weather and a lot of friends and family of the coaching staff, which is great to see.
Well, and it's 2 local teams, so you know, you've got local supporters and whatnot. You've got a nice group of students that came out. I was just talking in set number 1, Jim, and how the men's and women's teams kind of help each other out. You got the women's team, doing sideline drills or sideline duties with the balls, and even here on the table. And the men, of course, reciprocate in the fall. And then, of course, they kind of root each other on. So that's kind of a nice setup, isn't it?
It is. I think the more synergy of those programs, the shared experiences they have, and sometimes you wonder who understands your sport. Obviously, the opposite gender. And boy, you got to give a credit to our facility people to turn a basketball arena into a volleyball arena. They're going to have to flip it back again. We talked a little bit about that last night. We're in that time of year, and I see Bree and your assistant up there. I'm thinking about stats. You're like, man, you kind of turn that brain off about November, and you got to turn it back on.
Well, yeah, it was just a little cat nap from women's volleyball ending, and then we swing back into it here in January for volleyball. So, the cobwebs aren't too dusty when it comes to volleyball terminology. I think my biggest struggle is when I'm going through swimming and diving, and then all of a sudden indoor track starts and you get relays, and I start mixing up swimming and track and field in my recaps there. Served by Gabe Laughlin. And he has a diving dig, gets it across. Amos handles it for Aquinas. Attack there by Sturdivant. Now down the middle, Barble. He is becoming a factor. Transfer out of community college there in Illinois. I know Coach Saygraves was talking to me about him, pretty excited about what he brings to the table.
Yeah, a lot of new faces and some old ones in there, but it all comes down, and I think Coach Saygraves has put a tremendous effort into pass and serve, and you can see the improvement. Very competitive league they're going to be in again.
Yeah, Midwest Collegiate Volleyball League for sure. Rua goes up and crams it home. Well, he's been a pleasant addition to the Knights.
Yeah, the ability to terminate.
Yep, well, and he's one of those guys that can do it. Now the Knights have a few more options at the ready. You got Brady Godaskis and Nick Bolche and Gabe Laughlin are kind of like veterans, and Ezekiel Jalen now in his second year doing some setting there. And then you add some newcomers, and that's a hot serve by Godaskis that'll go as an ace. And the Knights are up 12-3 right now.
Yeah, and they'll be back in action again tomorrow night.
Yeah, against Concordia of Chicago.
Just come on out. I keep saying I hope the weather gets better, but people have learned to brave the treacherous conditions. Oh, he tried to do a change up there.
Yeah, that's not his game, really. Yeah. Gabe likes the power serve. Well, we're going to see Cam Dogger in for the first time. One of Calvin's setters, a veteran.
Yep, play a little 6-2. They're going to play a little 6-2. So they got 2 setters in the game. Or I could be wrong. He could be just playing a little back row.
Godaskis is there now. Jalen. And the Saints are able to read that one and throw it down. Rodriguez was part of it, as was Stats. So 12-5. Sturdivant back to serve.
Yeah, 2 games snowed out last weekend or colded out up in Wisconsin.
Yeah, right. I was talking about that briefly in the pregame there.
Trying to get some.
Oh, my. Daniel Rua with a cut shot inside the sideline, and he had some airtime.
Trying to get some people some experience, and with a 13-5 lead, try to get some people out there.
Rua with the serve. Amos with the attack, going to be a little long.
Yeah, much more a power game.
14-5. Yeah, so I know Coach Saygraves is trying to maybe get another opponent to make up those. That's probably a work in progress. Probably not the easiest thing to find somebody who is willing to come on up here to play a match. So I guess stay tuned, right?
Yeah, and I think, but people are losing games this weekend, so it'll be interesting,
Some teams might have some flexibility looking to try to make up some lost competitions. Well, 15-5 right now. Knights in control. Rua to serve again. Jump serve into the net there. 15-6.
I think the toss got a little bit away from him. That's such a key in that jump serve.
You know, speaking of net sports, this time of year, they're getting to the finish line, Australian Open. It starts early in the morning or late at night, but boy, when it's super cold, then you watch the warm Australian tennis, you know, kind of makes you feel a little warmer watching that. And speaking of warm, the Knights are hot hitting right now. That was Barble, came out of the back row, smoked that one. Knights up 16-6. Hits the top of the tape.
Yeah, and when you watch the difference between men's volleyball and women's volleyball, you're going to see much more aggressive serving.
You will.
And
yep.
so I have I've gotten used to that in our 2 or 3 years that we've had a program. And
you don't have the super long rallies, you know, that you get accustomed to on the women's side. And you've got taller bodies up at the net that will help terminate the ball, whether it's blocking or attacking.
And you got to remember that for those folks at home, the net is a little taller than the women's net.
It is. Well, Bolche is plenty tall, but goes a little wide on the attack. Had a good whack at it.
And next to his normal hair, or his original hair, sometimes he went blonde for a while last year, I think it was.
Yeah, I believe you are correct. 16-8. Served by the Saints, and Bolche cranks that one up and slams it down. 17-8. He's starting to rack up the kills. Laughlin back in.
Good story. Gabe, 5th year.
Yeah.
Our last club player.
Correct. Worked with his father in the marketing communication department. He's very proud parent, as he should be. Of course, that attack goes into the net. Gabe's grandfather, Jim Korf, was a long time now an emeriti. He's up in the stands, communication art and sciences professor, and he was kind of the originator of the old Calvin Video Network that would broadcast Calvin athletic events here. That was back in our student days. Here is Bolche with a swing down the middle. 17 Knights in the lead. And a swing and finding the floor. Connor Statz rolls it over the block. 17-10.
Game of momentum. You want to make sure you keep them at arm's length here. Race to 25.
So Statz to serve. And that one's going to go a little wide. At the big top spin. Ruach coming back on, 18-10. Knights winning the first set, 25-17.
Get him all 3 rotations across the front. It's a good time of that.
Gudaskis will serve it over. Dug up by Aquinas, going up high, and I think an attacking error, I believe, on Sturdivant.
Yeah, I don't think that was a block.
No.
Interesting, Jeff. So when we play NAIA opponents like Aquinas, we don't play a lot of them, but we're playing NCAA rules tonight, which is limited substitutions. If we play at their place, we'll play unlimited substitution.
Used to do that in baseball back in the days. It seemed like we'd play Aquinas, for instance, in non-conference baseball, and you'd have unlimited substitution, and I think even maybe re-entry.
Yep. And the NCAA plays pretty straight baseball that you're used to seeing. No speed-up rules, as they call them.
19-11, Kelvin in the lead. Good serve there by Hoffman. Knights coming back to...
other side of the net.
Yeah, I think they had a net violation, or perhaps foot went across the line. So 19-12. Hoffman again, freshman out of Commerce City, Colorado. He'll serve it into the net. 20-12. Yeah, that Midwest Collegiate Volleyball League, boy, some of the Ohio schools in particular are really tough. And of course, Trine, who's out of the MIAA in most sports, but in the MCVL along with Kelvin, they've really risen up.
Ball and Wall's pretty good this year.
Yeah, Mount Union, Wittenberg. Always tough teams.
A back row attack there.
Laughlin will set it up. Now Jalen out of the back row. Oh. And Aquinas will get the point. Kelvin. No, Aquinas in the net.
Yep.
I think that's Rodriguez who was called for it. So it'll be a point for the Knights, 21-12.
You know, interesting, both at the NCAA level and the MIAA level, talking about replay on almost all sports and getting those cameras that we saw during the regional in women's. We're not there yet. We can help with that call. Good attack by Gabe.
Yeah, I know, there's a push to have goal line technology in lacrosse, for instance. It could be done, but it takes some cost and
human
resources to do that. And at a certain point at the small college level, you try to do the best you can, I guess the best way to put that.
Yeah.
22-13. Yeah, I think here in volleyball, when they have the replay, there's usually kind of like a GoPro type camera up right on the net there, where you can view if the ball was touched or tipped or if somebody was in the net, that type of thing. Going up high, Rua, and no chance for Aquinas there.
It seems like he hangs up there for a while and looks where he wants to hit it. Obviously, we know physics-wise, there's no such thing as hang time, but it sure looks like it.
23-13, Knights on the verge of going up 2-0. Laughlin, big serve, and dug up by Sturdivant. Kelvin will send it back, and Aquinas, I believe.
Back row attack.
24-13, set point for the Knights.
Had some 5-set thrillers with these guys in the last couple years.
Yeah, that happened a couple, and I think last year it ended up being an exhibition match for Kelvin, but I believe it went 5, and there's Amos going down the middle for a point. The very first match was late January in 2024 over at Aquinas. Knights had the lead, and then Aquinas came back to win it in 5. And then they played again back at Kelvin in early February of 2024, and Kelvin did win that one in 4. Sturdivant on the serve. TD dug it up and then sent across. Aquinas tried to, they'll just free ball across. Barble sends it right back from where it came. Here's Amos with a big swing. And that's Dogger with the dig. Daniel Rua sends it over. A lot of free ball stuff going on right now, just dinking it over, and then Rua says, I'll end it.
Yeah, there they go.
25-14, Knights upset. 2-0. Took the opener 25-17 and now 25-14 here in set number 2. Was just talking, Jim, before you came here about all the Kelvin winter sports teams that are nationally ranked, both the hockey teams, men's basketball, women's track, both swimming teams. So, it's well over 50% of the winter sports offerings are nationally ranked. Now, we're in winter. Volleyball is happening, but it's technically a NCAA spring sport because the championship happens in April. But, a lot of success going on here with Kelvin Winter Sports Athletics. So,
yeah, a lot of great student athletes, coaches, and administrative support. Faculty support. I talked to a few faculty members this week, making accommodations for our student athletes for some of the travel they have to do. So very, very excited about the future and very excited about this. And spring sports are ramping up. I see our softball team again today and baseball practicing. So I'm going to leave you here. I'm going to go do some other parts of my job, but thank you again for doing the broadcast, and congratulations on Coach Saygrave's start. I don't know if he's going to win this one, but nice crowd. And
he promised he'd come by win or lose for a post-game chat, so we'll be talking to him after the match.
Sweet, I'll be listening. All right, thanks everybody, and thank you, Nate Nation.
All right, that was Kelvin Director of Athletics, Dr. Jim Timmer, joining us there for set number 2. Talking about the student-athlete experience, I'd highly recommend, and I'll try to get them up on kelvinknights.com or at least links. To go to Kelvin's Facebook page, either the main Calvin University Facebook page or the Calvin Knights Facebook page. Or if you go to the website at calvin.edu/news, or actually it's /news, so calvin.edu/news, you'll have 2 excellent student-athlete features on Calvin's academic All-Americans from this past fall. One on Matt Terrell of the men's soccer team, who was an All-American soccer player, transferred over from Liberty University, and then earned academic All-America honors, terrific student, sports management and business administration major. Already got his own business going on the side with some sports gear wear that he's producing, so you can read about that, along with his successes on the soccer pitch. And then in volleyball, we got Aaron Baker, Coach or Dr. Timmer was just talking about the student-athlete success. Aaron Baker, an All-American women's volleyball player and now an academic All-American as well. A Goldwater Scholar, biochemistry major, and a terrific student, a near 4.0 student, and doing all sorts of innovative research alongside her professors here at Calvin. And of course, they went all the way to the national quarterfinals this fall. So she had quite a fall with the volleyball team while doing top-notch academic research here. So kudos to both of those individuals, both named academic All-Americans, and you can read those profiles at calvin.edu/news. And if you go to Calvin's Facebook pages, you can also find those links as well. Getting set to start set number 3. Looking at the stats here, Aquinas hitting a negative .093, Calvin hitting a healthy .389. Daniel Rua with 9 kills, hitting .667. Nick Bolche with 6 kills, 5 apiece for Brady Godaskis and Gabe Laughlin. Aquinas led in the attack department by Jaden Sturdivant, who's got 4 kills. Calvin serves it off to start. That was Rua. And what do we have here? I think Aquinas was in the net. That was Stats. Into play libero here in set number 3 for Calvin is Ronald Young, sophomore, out of Northville, Michigan. Free ball sent across. You also have into the game Bryce Brookhuizen, and he gets a big swing and crams it home for a kill. Kalamazoo Christian High School, a former Comet, where Brad Heatice, Calvin alumni, is the director of athletics. Talk to Brad almost every other day as the attack goes deep. Of course, Brad, a big Man United fan. I'm a big Arsenal fan, so we have a lot of banter. But right now, old Bradley boy has the bragging rights on me as Man United with the big 3-2 win over Arsenal this past weekend. Bit of an upset win, but when you have that rivalry, you never know what will happen. Back to the action here, 3-0 Calvin, and Aquinas struggling a little bit to get the ball over. And they will do it and send it down the sideline for a point. Number 10, Jonathan Collins will get the kill. 3-1. Counter stats. Been a busy man tonight for Aquinas. Serves it over. Godaskis handles it, gets the return feed, sends it down the middle, dug up by Stats. Stats out of the back row. Ronald Young, nice dig there. Free ball sent over by the Knights. Big swing by Aquinas and down the middle for a point. Andrew Slowinski out of Grosse Pointe, Michigan. 3-2. And Stats will serve. Jump serve. Ronald Young is there in the back for the Knights. Quick middle and sending it over into the game for the Knights. Landon Dykema out of Hudsonville. State champion last spring with the Eagles. Boys volleyball program. So he's getting some minutes. And just dunking it over. Andrew Slowinski on the feed from Stats. Just went over the shoulder. Didn't even have to jump much. Slammed it down. We're tied at 3. Stats again. Big swing. Gadaskis, free ball. Ronald Young cleans it up. Knights trying to attack. Brookhuizen off the block and down. He's got himself another point. His second kill. Kelvin leads 4-3. Daniel Rua coming back on for the Knights. He replaces Gavin Barber. Gadaskis will serve it. Serves it across, dug up by the Saints. Little roll shot and down. A kill for Jonathan Collins, junior out of Caledonia. Tied at 4. And Slawinski's been very active in this set. Is back to serve. Floats it over. Oh, hit the top of the tape. Service here. 5-4. Kelvin in the lead. Oh, I see my oldest son's roommate trickling in here. He likes the volleyball here. Like I said, good contingent of students here.
Tight.
And up at the net, and Rua is there to send it back. That was easy pickings for Daniel Rua, and he gets himself another point. 6-4 Kelvin. My older son would be here rooting on the Knights. He likes volleyball, but he's got a track meet to prepare for tomorrow over at Aquinas. He's going to be throwing a little shot put, so trying to take care of his studies and then get some sleep before going to classes tomorrow. Service error for the Knights. Gives a point back to Aquinas, so a much more competitive set number 3. 6-5. Kelvin in the lead. And into the game and serving is Everett Blyenberg out of Hudsonville. And it goes over, and Brookhuizen slams it down. Another point for Mr. Bryce. Point Knights. 7-5, Kelvin in the lead. Brookhuizen to serve. Stats in the back. Sturdivant now rolls it over. Ronald Young for Kelvin. Cleans it up. Out of the back, and Gadaskis, I think it was tipped. It was. Point Knights. 8-5, Kelvin in the lead here in set number 3. Knights took the first one 25-17, then took set number 2 25-14. Out of the back row, Stats. Brookhuizen digs it up. Right down the middle and slamming it home for a point is Justice Barble of Kelvin. 9-5 Knights. Bryce Brookhuizen. Big serve, and Stats is there. Up at the net. Sent over by Slawinski. Joust at the net, Ronald Young. There again for Kelvin. Going up high, Rua over the block, and I think it was off the block. Our down judge says it was. And it'll be a point for Kelvin. 10-5. We have a timeout taken by the Saints. They'll talk it over here in set number 3. Well, if you're interested in Detroit sports, the Red Wings are in action right now, and they are down at the end of 1 to the Washington Capitals, 1-0. Red Wings trying to bounce back from a tough loss the other night at home. Give you the rest of the NHL scoreboard. The Bruins lead the Flyers 3-1. Sabres 2-0 leading the Kings. Kings actually won in Detroit the other night. Montreal Canadiens up 3-1 on the Avalanche. Winnipeg Lightning up, Tampa Bay Lightning up 2-0 over the Winnipeg Jets. Nashville Predators up 1-0 over the New Jersey Devils. Islanders and Rangers, battle of the New York teams, 0-0 in the second. Pittsburgh Penguins up 2-1 on the Blackhawks in the second. Carolina Hurricanes trailing the Utah Mammoth new team, 2-1. Panthers and Blues tied at 1. Minnesota Wild up 1-0 on Calgary. Back to the action here. Brookhuizen to serve. Down the middle, dug up by the Saints. Roll shot by Aquinas. Rua is there. Here's Brookhuizen. Another big swing. Stats is there. Free ball, and Barble slams it home. Got Colin, let me make sure I say his name. Ilagan out of Hawaii is in as the libero right now for Aquinas. And he'll handle the ball right there off the serve by Brookhuizen. Sturdivant sends it over. Knights on the attack, sent over, and Aquinas scrambling and free balls it over. Jalen going far side. Rua, and that shoot set was a little off the mark. Rua tried to adjust in midair. Sent it into the antenna. Tech error gives a point to the Saints, 11-6. And Sturdivant to serve. Sends it over. Ronald Young there. Gadaskis with a big swing, but it was deep. Knights started celebrating, but the back judge said no, did not make it inside the line. 11-7. Sturdivant again. Jump serve. And an ace. Young and Gadaskis got tangled up a bit there in the middle. 11-8. Aquinas on a little bit of a run here. Sturdivant again. Ronald Young handles it in the back. Rua out of the back. Sends it over. Stats. Roll shot down the line. Kelvin is there. Dogger had a piece of it. Rua behind the back. Attack across. And now up at the net. And what do we have here? I think the Saints are in the net, but I think we're also going to get an attack and a kill for Barble. He's starting to rack up the points for the Knights. Got Coach Segraves up off the bench saying, hey, getting a little sloppy now. Let's tighten things up. 12-8. Rua, the serve, and hits the top of the tape. 12-9. Again, tomorrow, Kelvin hosting Concordia of Chicago right here at 7:30. Try to look ahead to the rest of the schedule that they've got here in, well, the month of February. I'll give that to you when we get the next chance. Served by Aquinas. That was Hoffman. The Knights send it over, and the Saints send it right back. Here's Jalen going to Gadaskis over the block and down. Point for Kelvin. 13-9. Barble will serve. And just beyond the end line, 13-10. Well, looking ahead into next weekend, Kelvin will have its conference opener hosting Adrian Friday, February 6th, and a non-conference match on the road February 7 in the Chicago area at North Central. Playing a strong CCIW opponent. Serve across by the Saints, a pretty good one. The Knights recover. Gadaskis down the middle though. And Kelvin will get the point. 14-10. February 12, Kelvin has the University of Olivet. Now, I'm not sure if that's the conference match or just the non-conference. I think that's part of the tournament Kelvin is hosting. It might be a conference match. Not sure. Brookhuizen with a big swing, and he's got himself another point. I think that's his 5th kill of this set. 15-10 Kelvin. Part of that tournament Kelvin's hosting February 12th through the 14th. They've got Olivet on the 12th, Franklin on the 13th, and Rockford on the 14th. Big swing and a point. Hammered down by Slowinski. He's come alive here in set number 3. 15-11. Stats with the serve really has Kelvin off balance. Knights have to free ball it over. Saints send it across. Now out of the back. That was a nice swing there by Gavin Barber. Now look out right in front of me. We've got a collision between Stats and Demetrius Baxter as they were trying to dig that one up. To no avail. Kelvin will get the point, 16-11. Sometimes have to keep your eyes wide open here in the sidelines. You get people running around trying to dive for balls, and there's a big swing. An attack and a kill for the Saints. Stats a part of that one. 16-12 actually. And Slowinski will serve. Sturdivant has 5 kills for Aquinas, leading them in the attack department right now. Slowinski serves it over. That's Gadaskis. Brookhuizen sends it over. Here's the set and the swing by Jonathan Collins. Kelvin digs it up out of the back. Ruoff, free ball. Slowinski there. Baxter with the set. Here's a swing and a kill down by Jonathan Collins, the junior out of Caledonia. First time out of the match taken by Kelvin. 16-13 here in set number 3. Looking at the stats right now, Daniel Rua with 10 kills, hitting 500. Gadaskis has 8 kills. Bryce Brookhuizen has 4 kills. I thought unofficially he had 5, but he's listed with 4. Barbel has 6 kills for Kelvin, and Gabe Laughlin 5 for the night. So pretty diversified attack here for Kelvin. Women's basketball will be at home Saturday, 1 o'clock. Early start time. They'll host the Bells of St. Mary's. And I'll be broadcasting that one for you, and as well as tomorrow night's volleyball match. Try to make it over to a little bit of the track meet before hustling back here for the volleyball match. Slowinski will serve for Aquinas. And that'll be an error just deep by Slowinski. It was tight, but the red flag went up. 17-13. And serving here will be the young freshman Landon Dykema, 6'7" at Hudsonville High School. Floats it over, dug up by Stats in the back. Baxter, big swing, and off the Kelvin block, and out of bounds. There'll be a point, attack and a kill for Sturdivant. 17-14. Checking in and ready to serve here for Aquinas is Everett Blyenberg, the senior, also out of Hudsonville. Floats it over. Gadaskis is there. Jalen. Now Brookhuizen, and off of Stats in the back row. And now Brookhuizen has 5 kills. 18-14 Kelvin. And Bryce will serve. Big swing, and Stats in the back digs it up. And an attack and a error by Sturdivant, just deep. 19-14. Kelvin closing in on a 3-set victory, taking the first two, 25-17 and 25-14. Brookhuizen, and that's in for an ace. Had enough top spin to just get inside that end line. Gonna have a substitution here for Aquinas. Andrew Jones will come on. Junior out of Portageville, Missouri. Here's the serve and dug up by the Saints. Sent over by Hoffman. Now Kelvin at the net. Sent back by Hoffman. Rua with a big swing, going to be deep. (20-15). Knights up 5 points away from closing out this match. Aquinas trying to extend. Serving again will be Jones. Floats it over. Godaska's there. Here is Rua over the block. Aquinas scrambling, and I think that hit the tape. Or was that off the Calvin block? It was off the block. So it'll be a point for the Saints. So Stats will get an attack and a kill there. 20-16. Serving again is Jones. Rua. Now Jalen. Slide play. Barble. Saints handle it. Floating it down the sideline there with Stats. Barble down the middle. Digging it was Blyenberg. Stats, little roll shot. Barble one-hander. On 2 and an attack and a kill for Ezekiel Jalen. Knights of that 2-setter attack right now, the 6-2. You got Cam Dogger on as well with Jalen. 21-16. Jump serve by Rua. Oh, that's going to be an ace. That was wicked. Jones tried to dig it and just got a piece of it, and it went flying out of bounds. 22-16. Knights want a sub here. I think we've got Trevor Monk, freshman out of Lombard, Illinois. So I mistakenly said his name earlier in the match. Now he is in the match for the first time. Timothy Christian High School graduate. Big serve by Rua, a little deep. 22-17. In for the Saints, Dominic Nelson, Jr. from Albuquerque, New Mexico, and he will serve it. Floats it over. Knights on the attack, and a good one. Attack and a kill for Trevor Monk, who just came in. He got the dig. Ball came right back to him, and he attacks down the sideline. He's got a nice grin on his face. It's got to feel good. 23-17. Barble will serve it into the net. 23-18. In for the Saints, Demetrius Baxter and Jonathan Collins. 8:35 here in the Grand Rapids area. This match just over an hour and 5 minutes old. Ezekiel Jalen, slide play, big swing by Dykema. Saints handle it over the Kelvin block, dug up in the back by Barber. Free ball sent across. Far side, Stats, and look out, it's coming right up near me and over my head. It'll be a point for the Saints. Demetrius Baxter, freshman out of Mesa, Arizona. Going up high, and his attack is blocked. Trevor Monk. I think Slowinski was part of that block. 23-20. Baxter again, left-hander. Boy, that had a lot of spin and bobbing and weaving. Sent across by the Knights. Baxter got a piece, and now a free ball sent over by Stats. Here's the swing, and down for a point. How about that? Trevor Monk comes on late and has a couple of big attacks and kills, and that's got to feel good. Nice cup of confidence builder for the young man. It is match point, 24-20. Serving is Jalen. Baxter goes to Stats, near side, over the Calvin block and down. Barber with a dive, couldn't quite dig it up. 24-21. Connor Stats trying to keep the Saints alive. Sends it over, and it's in for an ace. Remind you, everyone, to stick around. I think Coach Seagraves is going to be by for a post-game chat not long after talking with the team on the floor at the conclusion of this contest. So you want to stick around for that. Stats, the serve, and into the net, and that will close it out, the service error. Calvin winning at 25-22. So the scores, 25-17, 25-14, and 25-22. Calvin improving to 3-0 on the season, the home debut for the Knights. First match in Vennord Arena for head coach Aaron Seagraves as head Calvin men's volleyball coach. So congrats to him on this win. Knights right back here tomorrow night, 7:30, another non-conference contest. That'll be against Concordia of Chicago. And just a quick note, my good friend Jeff Henson over at Olivet telling me that indeed that February 12 match, Calvin and Olivet, will be an MCVL conference match. The match later in February will be a non-conference one. So good info there as always. Looking at the final stats, Calvin hitting .467 in this win. Aquinas hit .186. Aquinas is leading point producer, Jaden Sturdivant, who had 7 points. He had 6 kills. 3 kills for Jonathan Collins and Andrew Slawinski. And Connor Stats. A couple of service aces for Stats. For Calvin, Daniel Rua with 10 kills. 8 kills for Brady Godaskis. 6 for Justice Barble. 5 kills for Gabriel Laughlin. And Bryce Brookhuizen. Brookhuizen with 5 kills in just 1 set of action. Let's see. 36 assists for Ezekiel Jalen. Service aces, Bryce Brookhuizen, Brady Godaskis, and Daniel Rua with 1 ace apiece. Digs, Ronald Young Jr. had 7 digs for Calvin, 6 for Justice Barble. And 5 for Brady Godaskis. The blocking department got a post-game prayer here, so that's a great thing that's going on. 1 block, solo block for Nick Bolchi, and a block assist. Block assist for Daniel Rua, Brady Godaskis, and Justice Barble. 2 block assists for Connor Stats of Aquinas. And let's see, leading digger for Aquinas, Connor Stats. He was busy tonight. He had 6 digs and also had 6 total points for the Saints. Well, we're going to try to get Coach Seagraves over here for a post-game conversation. And I'm trying to wave him down if we can get him to come on over. Well, he's going to talk to his team real quick here after the prayer, and then he'll be on his way over to have a post-game chat. So got one final conversation that they've got going there. Knights 3-0 on the year. And back in action here tomorrow against Concordia of Chicago. That'll be a 7:30 p.m. match. So if you have a chance, come on out. See some great Calvin men's volleyball now in year number 3 as a varsity program after many, many years at the club level. I can remember it being a well-attended club sport back when I was a student back in the late 80s, early 90s. And I know a lot of those club alumni are really excited to see Calvin volleyball now at the varsity level on the men's side. 2 great volleyball programs here at Calvin, the women's team, of course, and the men's team starting to pick it up. Well, we got Coach Seagraves coming on over, and I've got the stats We'll put the headset on him there. There's the stats right there. Coach Segraves, congrats on the win. Just your general thoughts on this one.
The guys played within themselves. I think anytime you play a home opener, it's going to be tough because there's a lot of emotion. Anytime you play a team you know, it's tough because they just know you. We played them in the fall in the scrimmage, and so a lot of different lineups that we used, and it was good to see a lot of different guys produce. So happy with the win. We got to do some things a lot different tomorrow because Concordia is going to bring. They're going to be much a different team tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, one of the nice things is you got some people some playing time in that third set, and they produced. Bryce Brookhuizen, you had Landon Dykema in there. Trevor Monk came in, had a couple of big swings for you down there. I mean, those are all building blocks for the young guys who might not always see a ton of playing time at this point of the year.
Yeah, 100% agree. I think one of the best things about this team is the depth that they show.
Yep.
I mean, we've got a lot of depth. We go maroon versus gold in scrimmages and in practices, and it's a battle, and it's hard to put the main six on the floor because those guys that are not on the floor normally, they're fighting and giving them everything they can. I mean, our second team might beat our first team almost every time in practice. So it's good to see. Yeah, Trevor, a freshman, a walk-on. I mean, he wasn't even planning on playing volleyball here and came here as a student and then tried out for the team, and so happy for him to get in there and make a difference.
Absolutely. Well, you're talking about the depth. You got two experienced setters there, Ezekiel Jalen and then Cam Dogger, and it gives you the ability to kind of do that 6-2 if you want. And, both of those guys are very capable. Ezekiel, kind of in the lead catbird seat, so to speak, had a bunch of assists. But, boy, you got to feel good to have both of those guys being able to ride them both. Yeah,
Zeke has been outstanding. The delivery of his ball is so smooth, and he gets the ball to the hitters when we need to, and he sees the defense really well. So he's doing a great job. Cam, obviously, has done a lot of things last year and the year before. We're trying to get him in there to see what that looks like and see if a 6-2. And our goal is to get to next Friday. We open conference play against Adrian. So I want to see a 6-2 and see what that looks like. And I'm not sure if we'll do it tomorrow. I like to get comfortable with what we're doing and do it well.
Brady Godaskis last year struggled some with injuries. He's looking pretty fit here, and it's good to see him move around the way he was. He had a solid match tonight, didn't he?
He's had 3 solid matches. If you saw him in Concordia, I'm not sure how he didn't get Player of the Week in our conference, I'll be honest. I mean, he had more kills. He had a higher hitting percentage. He had more digs. I mean, he just did everything for us in Wisconsin. Tonight, he wasn't asked to do as much, but still ended up 8 kills on 13 swings. I mean, and only 1 hitting error. So when you look at that, the production he has, he's been healthy. That's been the biggest key. You said he was hurt most of last year. We've done some load management with him early on, and he's really produced.
Well, I had Dr. Timmer by for the second set, and you have this blend of some of these returnees from last year, like a Cam Dogger or Godaskis or Gabe Laughlin, who was part of the club program and is now a grad student and now playing at the varsity level, Nick Bolche. And then you got some of these newcomers here that have come on. Daniel Rua, a huge addition. You've also got the junior college transfer. Justice Barble, who's doing some great things. So just talk about blending some of these newcomers with some of the guys that came back from last year's team.
I think that's been the biggest challenge. Do these guys know each other? Do they have relationship with each other? And we spent the first 2 days on a preseason retreat just to build relationships. They hung out. We did team dinners every night of preseason. They love each other, and I think you're starting to see something special come together. When you love the guy next to you and you can play for him, it's a totally different ball game. And so, I think we have 10 returners and we have 9 newcomers, and it's just awesome to see the blend together.
So I said this at the outset of the match, but you are officially the head men's volleyball coach here at Calvin University. No interim tag, none of that. And it's great to have you here. Just your thoughts on being at Calvin and being a head men's volleyball coach at the collegiate level. I mean, you've had different roles in collegiate athletics down through the years, but I know volleyball and being at a Christian institution are two things you're very passionate about, and now you get to combine both of those here. It's kind of a crazy thing that, here you are here in January as the Calvin men's volleyball coach. Maybe a year ago you're doing something different, but, God kind of has crazy ways of doing things, doesn't he?
I'm going to try not to get emotional, Jeff. It truly is a God thing.
Yeah.
If you would have told me 5 months ago that I'd be doing this, I would have called you crazy. But
yeah.
I'm absolutely loving it, and the guys are buying into what we're selling. It's a little bit different than what we've had in the past, and nothing. That's not a shot against what happened in the past. Spencer did an incredible job with these guys and build a program in the right way and bringing in some really quality young men. And now I get to take him to that next level, hopefully.
Yep.
He probably knows a little more about volleyball than I do, but that's okay. We're having super fun and just building some great relationships, so I'm thankful for it.
Absolutely. So, yeah, tomorrow, Illinois, Chicago, or Concordia of Chicago out of Illinois. What will they bring to the table?
Yeah, much more dynamic offensive team than Aquinas brings. I think they got some big guys, so they bring more size, and it'll just be a faster offense tomorrow. So our defense wasn't great at times tonight, so we're going to need to buckle up on that, work on a couple things in our pregame stuff tomorrow, be ready to go. I'm excited for the challenge.
Very good. Well, great to stop by and chat with you here at the conclusion of this match. Talk to you tomorrow night.
All right, thank you.
All right, that was Kelvin Head men's volleyball coach Aaron Saygraves after a 3-set win over the Saints of Aquinas. We'll be right back here tomorrow night. 7:30 will be the start time against Concordia Chicago. Want to thank the crew back in the studio for handling all the dials and the direction and everything with tonight's broadcast. They do a great job. Really appreciate all their efforts, and they'll be back at it tomorrow when we bring you tomorrow night's volleyball match. We'll see you tomorrow night right here at Benoit Arena. Until then, we say so long.